Vladimir's Offering, which is kind of the newer item within the last few versions. But it's kind of a situational item, and I don't always go that case. So here's another instance where Axe just barely makes it out. 18 life, really, really frustrating. So I jokingly tell my opponent he sucks, so the good thing he's lighthearted. I have the bad nature of being kind of a leader in a lot of the games, and I try to, oftentimes, I try to tell people what to do, and I'm trying to kind of break that habit, but it's Dota. People kind of expect the bad mirror to begin with, and in public games it's not that big of a deal, but, you know, it's just more of an honorable thing for me to, you know, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all, and I don't know, it's my own personal preference. Everyone plays their game the way they want to do it, so I do my best to try not to be so cocky, but obviously I do in some cases, and as you can see probably from some of the chat and the other replays I've included in this file, that's just kind of how I play sometimes. So I was able to push down the tower, and that's something that you want to take note of if you're playing against an opponent that you're not able to kill so much. Maybe he's playing very defensively, or playing against a blinker like the anti-mage or something like the Queen of Pain, and your sprouts aren't as effective. I mean, switch routes. Instead of going for a sprout control, maybe opt for earlier Forces of Nature so you can push that tower. You see, we're only 8 minutes into the game, and already we have that tower down. Just really, really nice. And most pushing heroes can do that. Heroes like, you know, again, like the Keeper of the Light, heroes like Razor and things like that. But especially here, or since we're focusing on Furion here, I want to focus on Furion. So that's kind of how he works. You know, you can get those early pushes, and here's a really good instance of us of me kind of paying attention to what's going on during the game. And again, not being greedy. I almost died there. I teleported to the mid to try to help Pudge take out the Shadow Priest, and Shadow Priest is able to heal himself and kind of play more defensively and avoid being killed there. But you just gotta kind of eyeball it, especially around this 9-minute, 10-minute mark, just like the last game. Kind of eyeball, you know, some weaknesses in your opponents. Again, a lot of the times your opponents won't suspect you to be able to town portal or to be able to teleport in front of them or behind them. You know, it's all just kind of how you want to present yourself in that. So Pudge actually misses a few hooks here, but just because I'm able to get some good sprouts in, we're able to position ourselves, and we actually do end up getting the kill with the help of the Rubian Assassin. We get the kill on Dazzle, the Shadow Priest, finally. So, again, be aware of what your opponents know about you, too. If there's creeps around, your opponents can see you, and there's a fairly obvious way to see if Furion's teleporting. He does a little dance when he starts teleporting, you know, he starts raising the roof, as it were, I guess. So, you know, and plus it makes a little purple swirl that I was telling you about on the ground of wherever you're teleporting at. So just be aware of what your opponents can see and use that to your advantage. Now I kind of wanted to go over a little bit more about how teleport works. Here at the bottom we're actually going to lose this tower. I think we have a Shadow Assassin and Axe coming at me, and Drow and I actually are going to get the kill on the Axe because I spot him with one of my, I kind of use one of my treants to scout that area because I assume that there's going to be a jump happening, and I just check it with that, and I instantly see it. I ping the orange and say, hey, there's someone there, let's immediately target Axe. I didn't know that the Shadow Assassin was there, but obviously it ends up not mattering because the Drow ends up using his crosshairs and we pick him off, and Shadow Assassin ends up having to back off, blah blah blah. He goes to the tower. I just shoutcast a little bit there for you, so hope you enjoyed that. But back to our talk about teleport. You can actually use the S command, which is stop, or whatever you guys have the stop command hotkey to. I know you can change it with your with the hotkey editors, but you can stop the actual physical act of teleporting by just pressing the S key, which stops it. So if you press teleport as R, you press R to teleport, and I think it's R. Oh god, I should know that. Anyway, so you teleport, and the purple stuff starts. You press S to stop it, and it doesn't take the cooldown of teleport, and it doesn't take up any mana. So you can do that endlessly. I mean, if you're quick enough, I mean, you can just make purple swirls kind of around your opponents. And it's the psychological thing. Again, keep it in mind that Dota is a psychological game, and heroes that can get the jump on opponents, like like Pudge, like Sand King. I mean, heroes like that are in the dark and can kind of get in weird places and do strange things. Again, like Furion. You could take advantage of that. So, I don't have any good examples of that because I actually just started doing that tactic in some of my more recent games. I don't think I have any replays of me actually doing that. But again, use that teleport kind of ability to just kind of psych out your opponents. Have that purple stuff start, and then they're like, oh, Furion's coming, and then wait, oh wait, he didn't come. What's up with that? And then I do it again. A second later, it's like, what's this Furion doing? It's crazy. Or I've never seen Furion do that. A lot of people, especially in public games, don't realize that you can do that. and it's an intimidation factor. So sometimes knowing that Furion's coming will make them back off maybe from a push, or we'll say, oh wait, there may be more people coming, so there's a lot missing, and all of a sudden I see this purple stuff. And again, if you don't want your opponent to see you're coming, make sure you do that purple stuff and make his swirl animation from that teleport, be somewhere off away from your opponent's field of vision, or away from your target's field of vision. The other thing about teleport, the biggest thing is to note, and again, I'm going over this in detail in the text document that's included in this file, the little Furion guide, is that there's an animation that plays when you land after a teleport. So after teleporting, Furion does little raise the roof thing again, and again another dance. I think he's just being cocky or doing a taunt or something like that. They have a built-in taunt inside Furion's character when Ice Frog made him, I guess. So when he lands, he does this little raise the roof thing, and that takes up valuable seconds, especially if you're trying to quickly get a sprout off to your opponent, or quickly start getting off some of your ranged attacks on your opponent. So to cancel that, immediately have an M key, your move key, which is M is the hotkey for me, ready to go for when you land your teleport. So you just move, immediately cancel that, and Furion won't do his little thing. He'll just immediately move into position, and he'll start attacking whatever you want to attack. You can sprout again, so M, and then sprout to get him to go. Just be very aware of your hotkeys. Obviously, as a Furion player, you don't want to be using your manually clicking, as actually with any hero. If you don't already do this as a beginner player or an average player, try not to just click on your abilities and then click on your heroes. It's the same with, or click on the targets. It's better to use hotkeys, because then you don't have to move your mouse off the main screen. It's easier to control, do stuff like that. So we're about halfway through the game now, and I haven't upped the speed yet, but at the 22-minute mark is where I'm going to get to. So go ahead and speed up to the 22-minute mark if you're there, and then we're going to pause it and resync it up to a faster speed to kind of get through the rest of this replay for you. So 22-minute mark is where we're going to at the moment. I'm going to get myself there as well. I'll go over summoning in packs and again the pushing tactics as well. I really want to focus on how teleport works, because that's actually the kind of the crux or crew, or I don't know how you say it, for a good Furion player, is how to properly use teleport. Again, 22-minute mark, and then just get a pause, and we'll probably do it at like, I don't know, 4x speed to get through it. So 22-minute mark, 4x speed. Going to go through it really, really quickly. And again, if you want to watch this replay again at a slower speed, that's fine. I'm not really looking at anything in particular, going to be looking for anything in particular, but something comes up, I'll mention it. Again, I'm just kind of watching this replay while I'm talking about how Furion works, and hopefully you guys will learn a little bit about it. If not, we'll try it a different way the next time, but this is the way I want to do it for now. So if you're not at the 22-minute mark, pause this audio commentary again. Go ahead and sync up the second replay file at the 22-minute mark at 4x speed. For the rest of us, we're going to unpause in 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. Unpause again, I'm pushing here at the middle, and again, you got to watch out for these opportunities. Pretty much at the 20-minute mark, on probably till the 30-minute mark, or when some significant pushes can be made. So heroes like Furion that are going to be doing that pushing need to be aware of, what's happening. You'll notice the way I play Furion is I'm not going for specific games. I'm not going for hero kills. I know that's not what it's about. However, if I see those opportunities where, heroes fleeing, or my allies being targeted, and if I can TP and sprout pursuing hero to save them, I'll definitely do that. But I play very, very defensively. I'd rather stay alive, not die that much, and kind of fuel my farming abilities and fuel my pushing abilities to win the game. It's just, I think, how you should play Furion. Obviously, there's a lot of different ways you can play Furion, and I go over to a few of those in the text document. But because I don't play that way in my replays, there's no use to me kind of talking about it. But obviously, you can use Dagon, you can use get some damage items, like go for a Clink style or something and get Verzi and Monkey Bar and Aegis and Rapier and all that crazy stuff. You can do that with any hero, so same as with Furion. But I feel like this is the most effective kind of cookie cutter way to stay versatile, but still very effective at taking out heroes if you have to. So blah blah blah. What's going on? I'm gonna turn on auto camera just to kind of jump around. Again, about from the 25 minute mark onto the rest of the game, now it's a pushing game. A lot more people are realizing that, and they look for opportunities to gank people while they're trying to push. So if you're a solo hero pushing, and you realize that the majority of the enemies are missing, you can kind of assume that they're going to see you as a target. I mean, again, realize what your enemies are thinking while kind of thinking in their shoes. Think in your enemy shoes. I say that in my Warcraft audio commentaries. It's just the same in Dota. So just kind of